All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a 1v1 matchup between Romantic, also known as Fortitude, going up against Happy. All right, and race swap? All right, sorry. It took me a second here to realize it was a race swap. Happy spawning as the blue human player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Romantic spawning under as the undead player on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Definitely not what I was expecting when I saw an undead versus human romantic versus happy game here on springtime, and I am very curious as to what these players have in store for us. Specific strategies, specific ways to play, and I'm curious if, well, maybe Happy will unleash some method of playing that I haven't seen. And nope, he's gonna be going for the very micro intensive Paladin first with Rifleman. Paladin Rifleman with Blood Mage second for Siphon Mana has become, I guess, a go-to method for trying to deal with undead. But it doesn't really scale well once you get into the late game. Well, with that said, though, well, Mantic's going for a Crypt Lord first. So, as I was saying, the Rifleman, a Paladin rifle doesn't scale well into the late game because of how effective Deathcoil Frost Nova is in the later portions. Once you have access to very high damage output nukes, hero nukes at of their level 3 variety, well, 500 hit points just isn't what it used to be in the early games, and things just tend to fall apart quickly. But we're not going to be looking at that. And with that said, well, I am curious as to how this is all going to unfold. 2-minute mark of the game already well completed. And now the, well, Crypt Lord should be making its way out here. Quick Rabbit will get taken down. And I believe 2-minute 15 or, 2:30 is when the Paladin will come out. 2:10 is when the Crypt Lord's coming out here. Gonna make his rounds, get some, well, some of those carry-on beetles, clear out this creep camp, get another pair of beetles, and perhaps also get a pair of skeletal minions, and then move on. Paladin now out onto the battlefield. We're looking at Cloak of Shadows picked up there. Are we looking at some beetles queued up, or perhaps a Rod of Necromancy? There's the skeletal minions, and are we going to see a Rod? Yep, there's some more beetles, and they are now ready to go off to the races. Now, the Crypt Lord going to try and take down this Sasquatch Creek camp. We are going to be seeing some Blight placed down. There you are. Skeletal minion quickly gets ensnared, but, well, still within melee range, so able to get in some of that necessary damage. 28 over 30 compared to 25 over 30. And this is an interesting play by Romantic. He's going for the Haunted Goldmine first before going for the Ziggurat. Most undead players I've seen recently have gone for that Ziggurat first. That earlier Ziggurat allows for that Nerubian Tower to provide a bit of cover. That is not what is happening here, as we are looking at more beetles making their way out. There's that Ziggurat now getting summoned up, and perhaps Romantic is going to be aggressive with these Acolytes getting trained on over. The reason why they often delay it just a little bit is they don't want to walk into the plans of the human player. If the human player is planning to place down a pressure, well, it can go sideways very quickly. Militia now being called back here. Militia now getting called off to the north, and Happy is just trying to get that Paladin to level 3 as that Paladin already runs across the map, plus 13 damage as we're looking at more damage added in here. All right. Militia gonna go ahead and finish off that Null Poacher off to the north. That looks like the Paladin should be able to get to level 3 after this Forest Troll Trapper. The level 1 minion off to the north getting cleared as the Paladin already has level 3. Has access to that 400 hit point burst here, heal, and these two armies are simply gonna pass by each other. All right, so unaware of where the other is. We're going to be coming across here. The Nerubian Tower is nearly up. Haunted Goldmine, and now in comes the pressure. There's a Holy Light. That could be a dead Acolyte already. One Acolyte already down, trying to burst down this Haunted Goldmine. Haunted Goldmine down to 500 hit points, down to 400 hit points. And Happy knows the timings here as we're looking at the Haunted Goldmine down to 48 hit points. It is going to end up getting canceled. There's a Holy Light finishing off another. And this Nerubian Tower, well, the timing, the pressure, Scroll of Town Portal, Tactical Retreat, units all trying to get within range. Is the Forest Troll? No, Forest Troll Shadow Priest was within range. Rifleman, not so lucky. All right, a couple of beetles easily cleaned up back at home. We are now teching the tier 2. No weapon upgrades that I see, but that paladin did deal a serious amount of damage as they are ready to move on out. 34 over 36 supply. The unit's going to try and stay close to home. Meanwhile, re-haunting of the gold mine necessary on the southern side as Romantic, well, hits the reset button on that expansion. More acolytes need to be trained. We're down to 7 acolytes here. One or two acolytes lying in wait. Meanwhile, the Crypt Lord is looking to clear out the remainder of this Furbolg Tracker creep camp and should get, well, very close to level 4. Picks up a clause of attack +8 for himself. Hello chat, hello, well, hello YouTube, thanks for tuning in, however you may be watching or listening. So glad you're here. A lot of nervous, a lot of energy, pent-up energy that I don't know what to do with. As we're going to be getting into position here. Crypt Lord going to make its way off to the north. Paladin, Rifleman, all staying within the base. They're going to be shooting out of this position here. A very strong defensive position. And this is even before the Riflemen have the extra 200 range from that long range upgrade. Are we going to be looking at a little bit of damage? Paladin needs to force to pull back. Are we going to see some easy kills there? There's an impale, and this could be a problem. This is, well, Romantic saying I too can, well, lay a trap. There goes a Holy Light trying to saving up a Rifleman. A lot of damage going down. We're going to see one Rifleman getting finished off. Level 4 now on the Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord may try and go for some other additional units. The Rifleman and now Militia coming back in for a little bit of a squeeze. This could potentially be a problem. There's a Holy Light. Rifleman continuing to fire away, not summoning up more beetles. But the beetles are not going to be enough. Riflemen able to get in a couple of strong blasts on this fleeing army, as Happy is now very close to level 4. Level 4 does mean an additional, 2 armor, so an additional 12% effective hit points across the units as the ghouls are now looking to fall back here. There's that long-range Rifleman upgrade, a little bit of a chase as the Crypt Lord now retreats back. We are not teching to tier 2 yet, and Romantic is going to be in some serious trouble as Happy is already training up his Blood Mage. Behind this, though, we can see that the Haunted Gold Mine is completed. Undead does have the economic advantage right now as the Sasquatch Creep Camp off to the north now getting cleared up. Paladin will get to level 4, level 2 Devotion Aura, a little bit faster attack speed as well. And to finish off this creep camp, Blood Mage should make its way out here in just a moment and give some additional mana. No expansion by Happy as he needs to run back out across the map. Blood Mage needs to, well, fall back here. There's a little bit of feedback damage again. A Holy Light perhaps trying to go down onto a low hit point ghoul. Is he going to go after that ghoul? Oh no, that ghoul had 201 hit points. Not the best target as the Paladin now gets some, well, very strong mana. All right, items all being transferred to the Blood Mage as the Paladin, as the Blood Mage wants to do some creeping away from all the action here. Paladin may try to force back here, but, well, Romantic comes back around and says, well, sorry, I never really left you, and really putting in some more pressure on this go-wide army. Blood Mage may consider trying to go for Flame Strike, as that second ability could be extremely strong since we are looking at the current composition the way it is. Where is the army? There's the blue army on top of the ice, difficult to spot. Now putting in pressure here. There's going to be a lot of repairs, and this is the problem of the Rifle Paladin army. A whole bunch of piercing damage, a whole bunch of hero damage, as more acolytes could get trained up here. Are we going to look at more repairs? No repairs here. Acolytes are going to try and repair. They're going to end up getting Holy Lighted if they're not careful. They're trying to hold on steadily as the Spirit Towers are continuing to put in more pressure. This is a base trade scenario, but, well, Romantic does have more bases. Swirl of Downpour now for a tactical retreat back out as the units here may be forced to retreat back, and now capturing a couple of ghouls inside the base. One ghoul down, another ghoul down. There goes a third ghoul, level 2 now on that Blood Mage, being able to hold that door. Level 1 weapon upgrades completed for the Riflemen. They're essentially 1-2 upgraded while standing next to that Paladin. Blood Mage opted to go for Banish as that second ability, as we're looking at, well, rebuilding of the base on the southern side. putting back in more pressure, summoning up some more units. There's some repairs. Skeletal minions trying to take down a peasant right there. Are we going to see an impale? Yes, we are. There goes an impale, trying to finish off a couple of those units. And are they going to be able to do exactly that? Yes, he is. No more repairs, as the riflemen are going to be, the production is going to be stopped. No more blacksmith means no more riflemen. And, well, that may open up a window of opportunity. Romantic, and, well, obviously knowing the tech structure of the human army, trying to fight back here. Meanwhile, we're looking at another base trade scenario. This ziggurat gets constructed only to be destroyed, but it is buying time again. So this is a game just all a matter of time, perhaps, as we're looking at another surround or potential surround onto that paladin. Paladin, however, fighting right next to an arcane vault should be okay, as we see some beautiful heals once more. Those militia with 8 armor, a bit more tanky than you would have expected, as more ghouls are rotating in and out of the battlefield. Alright, are we going to see some repairs? Well, there's a Necropolis repair right now. It is looking to hold steady, just trying to hold steady at 160 hit points and growing. The riflemen, are they going to start poking that off at the other way? The spirit towers are a bit too far, as the Necropolis is still regenerating quite a bit of hit points. Meanwhile, off to the north here, we're looking at the ghouls trying to swarm in. And if you think about this another way, 5 acolytes are delaying this entire rifleman army, while so many ghouls and skeletal minions are putting pressure inside of the base of Happy. This could eventually fall apart here at the Necropolis, down to 112 hit points. More acolytes, perhaps another acolyte needs to be there to train. A lot of gold is being lost here, but the Crypt Lord is still fighting his way through. Alright, ghouls fighting back. You remember, the paladin is at level 5, has level 3 holy light now, but that devotion aura is giving a little bit of additional protection, as this Necropolis is still holding steady. Back off to the north here, the ghouls are continuing to fight. No additional weapons or armor upgrades, so these ghouls are actually fighting up against O2 militia, essentially, as we're looking at more repairs underway at this base here. So 5 acolytes, 5 supply, going up against this large army and still being able to keep it at bay, as we're looking at a staff of teleportation inbound to get a scroll of teleportation, scroll of town portal back inbound as well, being able to finally finish off all of those units. I don't know what Happy was thinking. I don't know if it actually turned out well for him or not. 4.9 on a solo Crypt Lord, who is now finally at taking to tier 3. Alright, dual crypts, a lot of pressure, mass tier 1, and now additional ziggurats will get well constructed. Meanwhile, the Crypt Lord now needs to back away. The Crypt Lord does get a little bit of bonus experience now that it is by himself at tier 2, but is it going to be too little too late? Crypt Lord, solo Crypt Lord going up against level 5 Paladin, level 3 Blood Mage. Crypt Lord looking to finish things off here. Alright, Paladin, is it going to get to level 3? Siphoning some mana, trying to finish off that Forest Troll. Berserker going to stay at level 2. Meanwhile, Crypt Lord does get to level 3, picks up some decent items, as this ghoul perhaps going to be sent back to base. Crypt Lord, very low on mana. Does have level 3 beetles now, 440 hit points, 22 to 27 damage. In fact, very high, as they're going to rush on in again. Happy needing to rebuild this blacksmith, and perhaps wondering at one point why he couldn't even train up more. But the rifleman and the Forest Troll Shadow Priest ready to cause a bit of a problem. Forest Troll Shadow Priest doesn't have much mana. There's a Banish and a Holy Light. Oh, 1-2 combination by Happy, saying, you know what? I don't have Death Coil Frost Nova, but I do have Banish Holy Light, and that is just going to be melting these ghouls so quickly. Well, there's 3 ghouls already down, as the Paladin now back up to 230 mana again. Blood Mage will need a little bit more, and they're trying to summon up some more units again. There's another Holy Light again after a quick round of attacks, and 340 hit points. Really not that strong. Romantic is just trying to run away in the back corner. There's some siphon mana. We're going to see perhaps another Holy Light finishing off some units, and suddenly Romantic is the one with a very go wide army that is very easy to pick apart for the Rifleman and the level 5 Paladin. Alright, finishing off more of these units. Is it going to give even more experience it is, but not enough to level up. 45 supply now against 45, but remember, economy is a thing. Romantic having 16 workers. All right, 16 workers on a 2-base undead. Not something you see very often, perhaps. Romantic, well, liking to be able to repair his buildings, has a couple of acolytes back just in case. All right, a couple of beetles diving in, a bit of a bug infestation in the base of Happy. Meanwhile, the Crypt Lord gonna round that corner. We are at tier 3, but we do not have a second hero yet, and we are going for even more ghouls. 1/1 upgrades now on those ghouls, but well, banish Holy Light will instantaneously kill any ghoul, and as long as there is mana on those heroes, you better believe that it is going to continue to happen. All right, where I believe there's a shade nearby. There's a shade here. Acolyte's going to try and retreat back. There's a little bit of damage, spirit damage, some poking damage. Repairs should be underway onto that spirit tower. Not quite sure why it isn't. There you go. Finally getting 4 acolytes to repair. And now we're going to start to see those acolytes take a little bit of damage here. All right, continue to poke back the other way. Meanwhile, at the base, Happy is going to lose his blacksmith for the second time here. But a rifleman will be able to come back out as we're looking at 1 spirit tower getting taken out. All right, weird exchange going back and forth. We are looking at triple crypt though, so these ghouls with frenzy should be able to do large amounts of damage once they are within range. That is going to be the big question. How within range are they going to be? They have very fast movement speed and fast attack speed, very fast movement speeds, and they're just going to try to swarm into this spot. Are we going to see an impale? Yes, we are. There goes an impale. 1 rifleman quickly taken out. Do we see a scroll of town portal? Yes, we do. Paladin trying to keep things alive, but the ghouls are now just swarming around every which way. A lot of these melee units not able to get within the right position. Staff of teleportation, but it's just going to position to a spot. There's a resurrection, and now are we going to see perhaps a scroll of town portal to try and get back out? Keeping these units alive is going to be the key part, and I don't know if Happy actually lost anything. I know he lost a couple of riflemen, but with the Paladin getting up to level 6, there was a resurrection, and I was trying to keep track. Was there another round of any additional riflemen that were taken out after the resurrection? I don't know. Eagle-eyed viewers on Twitch, let me know what you guys saw. All right, Crypt Lord sitting at level 5, Paladin at level 6 with resurrection. That is going to be some big damage. Meanwhile, Holy Light finding and catching another unit out of position right there. Paladin needs a lot of mana in order to keep this fight going, and are we going to see exactly that? There's a shade hiding amongst all those units. There's a siphon mana. Crypt Lord going to be in trouble. We're going to see perhaps a little bit of a surround, but the rifleman able to get in some big damage as we're looking at the units trying to dive in here. Paladin could be, or well, Blood Mage could have been in trouble. All of the units able to back away in time though. Blood Mage escaping it in red hit points, was down to 140, approximately 140. Crypt Lord looking to go after this Magnetar and Giant Polar Bear creep camp. Some big damage, 22 to 27 on those beetles, and also those ghouls, 14 to 18 with a very fast attack speed. I mean, Crypt Lord is perhaps a big item is gonna drop here. There's a scroll of healing, and now picking up a cloak of flames. All right. So Cloak of Flames on the Crypt Lord, and this Crypt Lord may be able to do some strong plays. There's a quick reveal right there. The Shade is keeping track of the army once more, and well, if at first you don't succeed, try again and take down this blacksmith, slow down the incoming number of riflemen, and by destroying infrastructure, you are then forcing your opponent to have to rebuild more when the time finally comes. 1 farm down, another farm down. That is a lot of guard towers though in the back, and well, the health of ghouls not very prominent. Meanwhile, riflemen diving in here once more. Main base is nearly mined out. Only a minute and a half of mining left as we're looking at the Crypt Lord now get to level 6. All right, guard towers should get taken down here. A lot of feedback damage. We're going to see a low hit point keep, and we're going to see a bunch of dead ghouls here. So one ghoul already down. There goes another. There goes two more. As, well, the ghouls just try to swarm away again. 3 minutes of mining left back in Happy's base, but Happy's base doesn't have any workers. All the workers have been taken out. Meanwhile, once more getting saturation at this expo. No surprise to say Romantic is winning the economic game, but at the same time, Expo is straight up in the center. The hero level game is definitely in favor for Happy. Nearly level 5 Blood Mage. With the level 5 Blood Mage, level 3 Siphon Mana should mean that Cryptlord really never has an opportunity to cast anything. Paladin comes back here and says, I can just dive in here, get in some Holy Light. As we can see, the Haunted Gold Mine in the center has now finally been scouted out. All right, this could be a big deal. There goes a quick Impale. Are we going to see some surround damage? Tap of Teleportation inbound. Blood Mage could be in trouble as we're going to continue that fight. Cloak of Flames onto the Cryptlord. Cryptlord going to run out of mana. They're going to still engage here. Are we going to see a Potion of Mana followed by an Impale? He's trying to line it up. There goes the Potion of Mana. There goes the Impale. And we could see some, well, racked up damage go down onto these Riflemen again. They're trying to fall back. Units are still trying to fall back. Acolytes getting in more economics. Paladin trying to retreat back down to 216 hit points. Blood Mage gets up to level 5. Ghouls are falling down. Goblin Zeppelin Micro onto that Paladin, dropping from the sky. Holy Light, and there's a resurrection again. Suddenly, the entire Rifleman army is back up, ready to go. There's a banish onto the Cryptlord. Cryptlord's going to end up getting surrounded, but remember, the Cryptlord does have Cloak of Flames, so he is dealing damage. He also has a Potion of Greater Healing. Is he going to take down a couple of units while standing next to everything? There goes one Rifleman. There goes another. I believe he's used the Potion of Healing, and is he going to be able to break through? Paladin gets an elevator out of there, and still the Cryptlord is so beefy and tanky with 8.6 armor, he's able to stay alive. That one additional point on a level 7 Cryptlord to get that last bit of armor makes him so difficult to finish off. Meanwhile, that Paladin, well, sitting at level 6 with 109 hit points, still able to stay alive here as Acolytes are getting cleaned up. 25 supply compared to 49. In comes the Beetles. You can see that Spike Carapace on that Cryptlord now trying to fight back the other way. More damage getting racked up. Another Ghoul or another Rifleman getting elevated out of here. Happy with some amazing Zeppelin Micro, able to keep all of the units alive, and then drops right back behind the gold mine again. All right, Paladin just stinking around right here saying, what's up? You got no range units, you've got no gargoyles. I can do this all day. Paladin continuing to keep units alive here. A Ziggurat now trying to get summoned up. More units trying to make their way over. Blood Mage sitting at level 5, still able to stay alive. Goblin Zeppelin, well, elevatoring those lower hit point units. Are we going to see another elevator? Well, there goes another pickup again as the Cryptlord now finally makes its way over. Does have Scroll of Healing. We're going to see some Siphon Mana, well, healing beyond the wall here. Low hit point Riflemen could end up getting taken out. They're trying to retreat back again. Blood Mage is just trying to disrupt all of this mining as we still see more Zeppelin Micro. All right, Blood Mage could be in trouble. Down to 9 hit points. No! I never saw his hit points above 600. He was at 9, and then he was at 599. That was so incredibly close. Playing on a razor's edge, just microing out of their minds here as they're finally going to reach elevator over the wall and then simply shoot beyond the range of the wall. All right, Cryptlord does have a decent amount of mana. That's going to be a problem. There's some more Holy Lights here. Are we going to engage Ghouls? Our 3-2 with Frenzy. And now we're going to go ahead and engage here. Are we going to see an Impale? Yes, we are. There's going to be a stun. Blood Mage going to try to jump inside the Goblin Zeppelin. He does make it out of there in time. Still, not having a single Gargoyle is the problem right now as the Ghouls are trying to retreat back. All right, Ghouls trying to use Natural Regeneration on Blight as a real thing. A bunch of low hit point units. This is all, this is all mining off of one base right now compared to 2. Romantic still having, decent gold on the map here as, well, the Blood Mage once more drops into position. Now, all bets are off once the Blood Mage gets to level 6. A level 6 Blood Mage would open up the ability for that Phoenix, and that Phoenix is such a powerful, incredible unit there. As we're looking at the Paladin once more, using Paladin once more. Using up a clarity potion. We're going to dive on in again. There is one Nerubian tower to try and slow things up here. Acolyte damage. Are we just going to see some taps once again? Yes, we are. Holy Light trying to finish things off here. Paladin does not have enough time for another resurrection just quite yet. Going to teleport over the wall and continue to shoot and put down pressure. All right. The economic game. If Happy was able to set up an expo behind this off to the north, then yes, he could perhaps survive this fight, but that's just not happening. Ghouls ready to swarm. There goes another Impale. One Rifleman finally down. Each Rifleman matters so much. Gargoyle now being brought on over, but actually getting Holy Light and blasted out of the sky by the Blood Mage and that Paladin's Holy Light. 300 hit point damage right there. All right. Crippler trying to keep up. Crippler actually very fast with those boots of speed. There's a little bit of siphon mana, a little bit of damage as the Cloak of Flames imparts a bit of damage as well. All right, Gargoyle trying to keep up here. We're going to see a Holy Light auto attack trying to finish things off. There's some auto attacks right there. There's a Holy Light blasting it out of the sky again as the Goblin Zeppelin now down to 250 hit points. No more gold back in the base. 32 over 38 supply. More Riflemen getting trained up. We're 26 minutes into this game. And, well, it is going to come down to execution. Romantic has the larger army by far. 62 supply compared to 32. A 52 supply compared to 26. Nearly double in size. However, the dual combination of a level 7 Paladin and a level 5 Blood Mage in the hands of Happy has shown why he's, well, been one of the best players in recent history and recent memory. As we're down to about 4 minutes of mining left on that additional expo, Paladin continuing to put in pressure here. One single abomination could just make such a big difference. Meanwhile, we're going to go into the engagement. There goes an Impale. This could be a problem. Scroll of Town Portal is ready. Gargoyle is ready to try to dive in onto that Goblin Zeppelin. As we're looking at the Cryptlord. Cryptlord waiting, perhaps waiting to get another Impale off. There goes another Ghoul. Level 6 now on the Blood Mage. And now that does mean Phoenix. All right, so Phoenix is going to be able to deal large amounts of damage to all of these ghouls, and you're going to see these, well, ghouls just absolutely melt. They are melting so quickly, and now the Blood Mage already a quarter of the way up to level 7, or that's being generous, maybe a 5th. As we're looking at more ghouls trying to retreat back. All right, Phoenix down to 100. Phoenix is pretty much going to fall right here, going to turn into the egg, wait for that timing, and wait for the Phoenix egg to hatch before venturing forth once again. All right, abusing Holy Light, right? All right, ready to put in the position. Phoenix ready to make a move, and here we are. This expo is problematic. The fact that the Phoenix was able to get out onto the battlefield is a huge deal, and I didn't even realize True Shot Aura was on the Blood Mage, so that's the reason why these Riflemen, even though it's only tier 2, seem to be doing so much additional damage. Phoenix also doing a little bit of bonus damage as well. All right. Repairs underway, trying to slow things down a little bit. Little Phoenix Egg gonna try and fall back again. We see some long distance mining coming from the neighbor's gold mine, that little walk of shame happening as Romantic may be running out of gold here at the Southern Expo. All right, is this enough? Is the Phoenix enough with that magic damage? Is it enough to turn the tide? That is the question here as we're going to go into an engagement. There goes another Ghoul as the Blood Mage still continues to push forward. You can see all of that does a splash damage and Phoenix Fire burning damage over time. Is it going to be able to stay alive? Yes, while on a Blight. All right, so little bit of damage over time. It's going to linger. It would, yeah, unit is being burned by Phoenix Fire. All right, Gonna go into engagement. There goes an Impale. Both sides are gonna fight. Gargoyle's ready to dive on in. Is it gonna be enough? Orb of Corruption onto the Crypt Lord. On the Crypt Lord now actually has the ability to finish off the Phoenix Egg, and now perhaps gonna try to finish off the other unit. Adding in that Crypt Lord, such a big deal, removing much of that armor, and now multiple targets are just trying to get away, unable to heal up. So many units getting taken or absorbing damage. 22 supply compared to 16, 55, 16. There's the Resurrection. 28 Riflemen all back out onto the battlefield. Is the Blood Mage? No, Blood Mage survives at 21 hit points and then gets a Holy Light again. Riflemen trying to shoot their way out of this, tricky situation. Ghouls still trying to dive across here. The Riflemen should be able to win out on the Gargoyles as the Scroll of Town Portal now underway. Are they going to be able to retreat back? Yes, they will. Paladin retreats back away just shy of level 8. That Resurrection making such a dramatic difference again. Meanwhile, Paladin needs to find a way to get some more healing going as the large army of Romantic ready to dive in. All right, Phoenix Egg has a relatively short cooldown as that original egg lasted a very long time. So that original egg, you can see some damage. There goes one ghoul. Is that another ghoul? There goes another ghoul, just taking damage over time. They are simply trying to retreat back. And that Phoenix with 7 armor, not typical, normally only has 1, able to stick around in this fight again. Rifleman able to burst down another gargoyle here. 44 supply compared to 28. And Happy shows back up and says, "Did you miss me?" All right, we're going into an engagement here. Paladin Rifle continuing to put in pressure. Blood Mage able to siphon mana again. Banish onto any single target should be a big deal here, as we're going to be looking at the Phoenix Egg. Phoenix going to try and, Phoenix trying to stay alive, and yes, does end up staying alive, does get a Holy Light. If he turns back around, is he going to survive here? Blood Mage now going to be in some trouble. He's able to stay alive as the Phoenix is turning around, doing some shooting and scooting against those gargoyles. All right, purposely aggroes the creep. Not quite sure what that was about, as there's more siphon mana coming across here. Ghouls trying to engage against all of these units. They're going to go after the Shamans, not after the right target, so auto-attacking, losing a little bit of control. Romantic now going back after these units again, as the Phoenix is now down to 400 hit points. And remember, the Phoenix does actually burn himself, so he does take damage over time, no natural regeneration. Gargoyle is trying to dive in onto that Phoenix. Is it going to be enough? Phoenix down to 600 hit points after another Holy Light again. And this has just been an ongoing struggle, trying to finish off that Phoenix. That Phoenix has been able to stay alive again and again as the ghouls are trying to finish off the Blood Mage. All right, Crypt Lord, perhaps it should go after a different target. That Orb of Corruption doesn't remove enough armor to offset the +6 by the Paladin. And with that, the Phoenix survives another day. All right. With that said now, we have long distance mining by Happy from the neighboring gold mine. And now Romantic pretty much in an uncomfortable situation. That Phoenix Egg is about to rehatch here in just a moment. Acolyte is still doing some more long distance mining. There's some more big damage. We're going to see some big damage over time. A Paladin is at level 8. Blood Mage is at level 7 already. And now with level 3 Banish and level 3 Siphon Mana can remove any unit from the battle as necessary. This has just been an absolute micro-intensive battle. It feels like Happy is going to now be in dominant control of this game. And that Phoenix, really the big difference in that fight. The Blood Mage getting up to level 6, suddenly opening up magic damage, large amounts of AoE magic damage against an army of just very fragile, heavily armored ghouls, thereby taking more bonus damage. All right, Siphon Mana. Forest Troll High Priest pretty much going to lose all of that mana in an instant. Perhaps the Tracker is going to lose some precious mana as well. Shouldn't really be going after this target. Should be going after the others, so the Blood Mage can give more mana to that Paladin, and this process can start all over again. All right, the Paladin's name in this matchup is Mandar the Healer. Seems to be a very appropriate name, considering how many how many people he brought back from the, well, from the dead. He might actually be called the Resurrector at this point, bringing back a handful of riflemen from the dead a number of times. Cryptlord heading back off to the north. And this is what I was curious about. Why go for a solo Cryptlord when Undead seemingly has three of some of the best heroes in the game? Death Knight, Lich, Cryptlord. If it was a 1-2-3 combination, multiple level 5 heroes, perhaps together they could have worked out better. Instead, the Cryptlord has always been held in check by the Blood Mage's Siphon Mana, and by constantly being held in check, well, hasn't been able to do much here. I think we're just looking at the writing on the wall. Romantic down to 16 supply and continuing the drop. If he couldn't win with a 40 supply lead, I don't believe he can come back with a 7 supply deficit. Just going after vengeance on that Phoenix now, it appears. Taking down that egg, and now we see some more Siphon Man again. No Cloak of Flames on that Cryptlord any longer. It looks like it was sold. Phoenix egg has been cleared out there. Paladin now finally does have Divine Shield once it gets high enough level. So adding just more and more damage again. Paladin, well, some more, well, Gargoyles getting taken out as a new Phoenix is going to get summoned up, and that will be the game. A 36-minute marathon between Happy and Romantic. Happy playing human, Romantic playing undead, and it really was the hero score that made that difference. Being able to resurrect fallen riflemen and being able to get that Phoenix, Phoenix. This really does give another take on the unkillable army. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.